how many more have we got to do on Monday? Me, you.
Can you hit the lights again?
What is a good idea? Maybe like keep correct, just for the last one, because I mean, not to say that you're only just going to 10 minutes, but just maybe try and keep it within 20.
I mean,
or should we through them all okay? So just have someone say maybe just 10 minutes, just so you know.
5 people, are they?
Yeah.
Ooh, I could drive over there, can I? Maybe
So that's 100 minutes, so that's an hour 40 plus
Someone
your
can
evaluation
drive
and changeover. So we should, that'll be a push. But
Can you
just to
drive
make
me
sure
on
you
here
know.
and then I can have to
Yeah,
and then I
just
can
have
go
someone
over
say
there.
10 minutes
Okay?
and you know you've got halfway to maybe 5 and you can start. I should know.
Okay.
I'm on 18 minutes.
Okay, so today we're going to do computer studies. I know you're all really excited, but we've got our math, so. I don't know who likes to cook here, but I'm sure most of you like to eat. And on the board you'll see an example of a recipe for a soup I had for dinner last night, which is quite delicious if anyone would like a copy. But you'll notice the way it's formatted. There's different features on that page to make it more agreeable. Can anyone tell me any sort of formatting features that you pick out on the page? Tom?
You have your ingredients in 2 columns, so they're spaced out and even,
Good.
lined up.
Yeah. So do you think, is that add a benefit to it, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mark?
Just as a guess, I think you've got the ingredients in the order that you use them as well.
You actually do. That's not a formatting thing. That was just the way it came to me. But yes, that is true.
Does he use, yeah, I
That's
suppose,
very good in recipe creation. Sorry.
does he use the white or negative space, which I find really important. I hate it when the text is all bunched up. And there's also a diagonal going from tie to right down to the picture. You read from left to right, so you
And that was planned.
you see the title and you see the picture.
I was just going to say you put a picture there to show what the end product is.
No, key.
But
So
I
you
don't know
have a
if that's a
photo.
formatting thing.
No, it is. So what we're going to look at today are 3 pieces of formatting. 2 of them were called out. The other one is not so obvious. But the first one is section breaks. So inserting a section break into a document. The second is creating columns, and the third is inserting an image or a picture. Does anyone know what section breaks are? Has anyone used those before?
Is that similar to page break or?
Very similar. So section break in a page break, maybe you can explain a page break.
That's just, you can tell the printer or the program where you want the next page to begin. That's going to be printed out on another page.
And why would you use something like a page break?
I don't know, it just depends on the kind of document you're preparing, and sometimes, yeah, you might want to short or long.
Okay.
I was going to go with that in the case of a recipe. If it only fills up part of the page, you don't want the bottom of the page to go on to the next recipe. You want it to be on a page of its own.
Right.
So you'd insert a break if the text didn't actually reach the bottom.
Well, you
For a
would
page break.
if you had another page in the recipe, right?
No,
That you were
I'm saying if the recipe doesn't take a full page and you were compiling several recipes,
Right.
you put a page break in between so that there's that logical separation.
Exactly. So
between
the
one.
next recipe would go on the next page.
Right.
Same say with a book. Say you're writing a book in chapters. You don't want the chapters to necessarily flow on the same page. You want to insert a page break so that the next chapter will go on the next page. So that's a page break. Good example. A section break, and what you'll see here is we have 2 section breaks. We have 2 different sections on here. Well, 3 actually. We have a section where there's columns. So we have different formatting in that section. And we have a section where the text is going all the way across. So one of the easy ways to ensure that you can change the formatting in one part of your document and not the other is to insert a section break. There's different types of section breaks. Today we're just looking at the continuous section break. So you'll see anything I do in this section, that formatting, so say I want to change the margin size or anything like that, it's only going to take effect in that section. So you're not going to mess up the rest of your document. So Tom, I just need you to pull up another document. You just click back on the Internet Explorer page. Okay. Right, and now if you could just pull up the recipe text, the second one down.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
All right.
perfect. Open that up. So this is what the text looked like without any formatting, right? I mean, there's a bit of formatting in there, but there's no section break per se. So the first thing we're going to do here is add a section break. So we want to add it after our ingredients. Okay, so just after the ingredients title, right after the S, you can put the cursor. Great. Oh my gosh, this didn't open in Word. Sorry. Ah! that.
right hand click open with.
Sorry,
With.
there's no open with. I had these at home on my computer, so I just
You
added
can
them.
probably cut and paste.
Save target as, just save target as on the desktop. Just go to desktop, I apologize. Great. Technical difficulties, everyone? Okay. Here we go, perfect. So now we're looking at it actually in Microsoft Word. So this will be a bit easier. Okay, so we have the cursor placed on the board where we would like the section break to be added. Okay. First thing you want to do is go up to Insert on the top menu bar, great. And the first option is Break. So you want to hit Break. Okay, and in this case we're hitting a section break. We're going to hit a continuous section break. So we want to put, okay, see page break was the first one. That was the one we were discussing before. So, Gina, can you guys see? I'm kind of running your way. So you want to click OK. We now have a section break. You can't see it. So one of the ways you can see the formatting on your document, if you've never used this feature before, is up right next to the 100% mark on the top row there. You see there's a button. If you click on that, that's going to show you all your different formatting features. So if you want to hit that, Tom. See, now you can see that we've inserted a section break. Okay? You can also see where all your enters are, and there's different things for different items, but we're not going to talk about that today. Now, right between directions and your medium cooked shrimp, if you want to put another section break in there. Great. Okay. So now we want to add some columns. So anywhere in that section that we're looking at right here, as long as we put the cursor in there, we can add a column. Okay? Has anyone done columns before? Does anyone know how to add a column to a document? No? Well, there's a couple ways to do it. The way we're going to do it is we're going to go to Format. And the fifth one down you see there is Columns. Okay? Click on that. Great. And now we get to choose how many columns. Right now we just have one column, which is standard. We can do 2, 3, and then, or we could choose our own number using exactly where Tom's cursor is. But for the sake of this recipe, we're just going to have 2 columns. So we hit 2. And then you see you've got 2 columns here of equal width. Okay? That's standard by the check mark there. If you wanted to have the columns different sizes or spacing in between them a little bit different, you could uncheck that and you could modify the width of the columns, and they're not going to automatically adjust. If you have that checked, anytime you change the size of one column, the rest will change as well. Okay? And then you want to apply it to this section. There's a few other options, this point forward and a few other things. Now, the other option you can do is put a line in between. So in some documents, maybe you'll see an actual line come up in between. Okay? So in that case, you would have that selected right there. Is it okay? So now we have our recipe with, actually, do you want to take off just so it looks a bit prettier? Take off the, there we go. So you can see it's separated into 2 columns now. Any questions on the columns?
That's brilliant.
That's
That's
good.
Have you dragged and select text?
No, we would just have the cursor anywhere in that section, right? Now, had we not put a section break on the bottom,
Would have done the whole document.
it would have done the whole document from there on down. And even when we added the columns, you could choose whether this section, this point forward, right? So play around with that. You'll get to play around with that in your homework.
So to do that, you just, what's it called? Section break? Section break?
Insert.
Section break by the ingredients,
Yeah.
and then section break which side of the,
So on the front, the top and the bottom of the section that you want to have formatted, you need to put a section break, okay? I'm going to give you a handout after that does have how you do this on it, but so for the sake of this one, the other way you can do columns, so one way that Tom showed us, he went to format columns, but you'll see just, can you move your cursor a little bit?
like
Sorry.
what we did yesterday in IT.
Did we do it yesterday in IT?
You made us do like 2 columns.
No, that was a table.
Oh,
a little bit
okay, my
different.
bad.
We're going to do tables next week. But
Sorry.
so do you see, Tom, right at the very top, 3 to the left of the 100%? The one more over. Yeah, so if you click on that, you can see there you can choose 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. That's a shortcut way. There are going to always be shortcuts, something to always think about when you're doing things. There's always more than one way to do something in here. So explore. When you do your task, explore.
This is really interesting. The way I've done it in the past, because I couldn't figure it out, was just to do a text box and insert it into a text box and then put 2
revolves around.
But
So
that's quite
there's-
cool, that's really snazzy.
Ways to do different things.
So,
Well, on the
I'm
page.
sorry, but I know that was the real way to do